Hey, everybody, and we are live with take two of our Hot Jobs, episode 207. We did try to go live yesterday. There were some quirks between StreamYard and LinkedIn that caused us to push it to today, but we're glad to see you here today. Thank you for joining us. Tara, how are you doing today?
Doing great. I'm seeing everyone midweek, so we are one step closer to Friday than we usually are. And this is what we do, right? We just adapt on the fly. We just do what we can, but we're still here to bring you the hottest jobs.
I think that's the best part about our community, the ability to adapt. So,
Totally.
and I do want to share thanks with our sponsor, Sony Electronics, and their new over-the-counter hearing aids. These self-fitting hearing aids are intended to amplify sound for individuals 18 years of age or older with perceived mild to moderate hearing loss. They're FDA cleared, self-fitting and customizable. They prioritize ease of use, are comfortable, discreet, and stylish, and they're wire-free design with one-step insertion. So they also offer rechargeable models like the C20. Your insurance or HSA may even cover the cost of them. Be sure to check with your insurance company to verify coverage and eligibility. There are also discounts for veterans through ID.me, and they can be purchased at the Sony Electronics website, hearing.electronics.sony.com, or via Amazon. So thank you, Sony, so much for being our sponsor and making these events possible. Tara, so we've got some topics today as we wait for people to kind of dial in and get engaged.
Yeah.
And I think the first one is about a post from mine 2 days ago about your resume doesn't necessarily say what you think it says. And it was, if anybody out there hasn't seen it, it was a child's image of what looked like a scandalous photo, but was really a mom who wrote a note back to the teacher saying, "This is me selling the last shovel at Home Depot before a blizzard." And so what I mean by this is a lot of times we think we have a fantastic resume that shows that we're such a high performer, that we do all these things. Like for me, my resume when I was transitioning said, I lead the operations for 17,000 people in 45 countries. I was so proud of that. It was a cornerstone of my military accomplishments. And what I didn't realize is that that job doesn't really exist out here. The things that I was doing in that job and listing as accomplishments don't really exist out here. And me saying that doesn't really align with like a project or program manager or HR related role, which is what I was trying to get. And so I want people to realize is that you have to run your resume by people in the industries you're looking to break into, right? And what are your thoughts on this, Tara?
Yeah, I think that's great advice, Mike. And I think if we go like all the way back to grade school, you always had someone read your paper before you turned it in, right? Because after you've read it a number of times, you may think it says what you wrote, but maybe you phrased it in a way that's unclear. And so you always want to have someone double check. And I think you're right about having someone who's already in that industry take a look. And I would also argue have someone who's not in that industry also read it because it should be very clear. I think one of the things I brought up was acronyms. Maybe everyone in your industry knows what a certain acronym is, but the person who reads your resume first may not have the most technical experience in the field that you are entering. So you want to make sure that there are no questions. When someone reads your resume, they should know exactly what every word, phrase is, or it should relate somewhere in your resume that's very clearly defined.
I think that's fantastic advice. And it actually calls to mind my mentor from American Corporate Partners. For people that don't know, American Corporate Partners is a nonprofit that provides one-year mentorship programs with typically executives or leaders in Fortune 500 companies that agree to meet with you on a monthly basis to kind of help you along your transition, whether you're in or out, service members, veterans, military spouses. And so when you apply to them, they give you a form to fill out that talks about what your goals are, what your experience is, what you're looking for, and kind of some parameters on your mentor. And for me, I specifically asked for a mentor that had never worked in the military, never been in the military, didn't have direct knowledge of the military, because what I wanted is for them not to have the lenses of knowledge.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is when I say anybody that's been around the military, when I say I was a battalion command sergeant major, they have a good idea of what a battalion is.
Right.
Branches irrespective, squadron, whatever. When you say that to someone that's never been around the military, they're like, wait a minute, what's a battalion? And what's a command sergeant major? Oh, it's the senior enlisted leader of an organization. What's enlisted mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it really makes me have to dive in, and it made me. She helped me speak differently, and so I think that's fantastic. Like, you've got to bring people in that veterans are a great start to this, and leaning on veterans to help you find jobs. But if you really want to open things up, you need to also bring non-veterans in that will, like you said, help it make it clear to everybody. So,
great advice.
So the next topic for everyone out here is about being overqualified. And I'll just give a brief read in, and then I'll turn it over to you, Tara. But I had someone reach out with a fantastic message, and you can see this. I posted about them this week. And they said that they had just been, their contract was canceled by DOJ. And so they were looking for a new job as they pursue a PhD. And they were getting told that they were overqualified for the roles that they wanted. And they asked, how can they fix that? Even though, how can they prove to them that they really want those jobs? And my advice was, well, you really can't. If they see you as overqualified, you can't change that because they think you're either going to be gone or you're not going to be happy. You're going to get bored,
right.
Or productivity goes the way. The only way you can really influence that, I thought, was through relationships. So if I know you're a high performer and I know you're loyal and you're coming over, that is a great way to I'm not assuming as much risk because I know them. But what are your thoughts on being overqualified?
Yeah, as someone who would be recruiting, typically when I see a candidate that has experience way beyond what the requirements are, I start to wonder if the salary will be something that we can't match. And so those are some conversations I've had too, where, hey, your level of experience, we're not gonna be able to match a salary that's, in your level of experience. I think the other part of that is, is this person going to be challenged or excited about the work if they're truly overqualified? I think this kind of goes to, you would have to ask the recruiter or hiring manager some really detailed questions if you can get to that point. But I have a feeling it could come down to compensation, that if you have 12, 15 years of experience and the requirement is 3, yeah, you're qualified for the position, but they're probably paying at the 3-year level. And so and anytime someone takes a really steep cut in compensation, they typically don't stay in that role very long.
Yeah, that's a great point. I like to talk about, the following questions they had. They said, well, if they're overqualified, should I list my PhD? And I'm like, no, if you're already overqualified, listing that you're pursuing a PhD makes you even more overqualified. And it actually gives us a timeline for when you're likely going to want to leave. To go to another job, a better paying job, whatever. So, I like to tell people that you may have 12 years of experience, like you said in your example, and the job requires 3 to 5. You don't have to list all 12 years on your resume or profile. Just go back 5 years or 6 years and you're fine. Just list those jobs. You can tell, you don't have to list I encourage people not to list advanced degrees that they're pursuing on their profile. But you don't have, if you have a PhD and you're overqualified, you don't have to list your PhD on your resume or profile. I want people to tailor their experience, their education, their accomplishments to the specific role so that we know that you can knock this role out of the park. That's it. So, and you do that by talking to people in industry for our community. So we've got a couple of comments here. So we've got Skiadali. Anyway, he said at the end of the day, you still need to do your part and not always rely on mentors. I agree. You still have to put in the work, But what I'll share is that you do not know how to translate it if you don't understand how the other side thinks. And so you do need the mentors to actually give you the information to action on. And then there are chef jobs. Okay.
Maybe somewhere.
So somewhere there are for sure. So I guess they're looking for chef jobs. I don't think you have chef jobs to share.
Not today, at least. If someone out there is hiring chefs and would like to enlist our services, we would be happy to chat about them. But today, I'm not going to be talking about chef jobs, but I will be talking about some other hot jobs, so we can dive into that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about skill bridge roles today. So again, these are skill bridge roles, not ready for direct hire just yet. And we're going to be talking about two particular roles with our really great partners at Customer.io. Now, we've talked about how they have multiple roles at Customer.io, but we're going to dive into a couple of them. And I'm purposely not going to tell you the title first. First, we're going to lead with the qualities that they are looking for. And this is kind of part of our conversation earlier, right, with adapting the language. So if you don't know what the job is, let's look at what qualities they are looking for. So they are looking for an intern that is adaptable, that has attention, that is good with attention to detail, is a problem solver, is creative and curious, eager to learn. So if that sounds like you, why don't you keep listening? So this position is for a sales-led marketing intern. And I think sometimes the marketing or sales scares people away, but here's actually what the role will do. You'll be working on 3 key projects at Customer.io. One of them is going to be streamlining their marketing campaigns and processes. So process improvement. The second thing you'd be doing is diving into the data to look at how they can improve their processes and campaigns for their clients, and to be using some software. You'd get some training on some real CRM type software. And why you might choose this role. These are action-oriented roles. So they say they kind of do their market research, they do their data analysis, and then they act on it. So if you are someone who is a go-getter, right? Someone who wants an action-driven role, this could be for you. And this is both like a self-service and a sales-led. So there's kind of a nice blend here. And this would be a great opportunity to kind of get some real marketing experience, to work with some professional tools, like I mentioned, some of those CRM tools. And they really want to bring people on full time after their skill bridge internship. This is a totally remote position as well. So if there is something that's tying you to a particular area, this could be for you.
I love it. What was the title of the role again?
So that is it is a sales-led marketing intern, and it's called demand generation. It's called demand generation because they are working with the clients who already have their product, or they are looking at some like warm leads that might be interested in using the product.
Mm-hmm. No, I love it. I was just talking to someone yesterday about how my intel career, counterintelligence, human intelligence, was really setting me up for success in a sales type role, because you learn to understand, what people are looking for, perspective, building relationships, and this is the data side of it. So I really love it. I think it sounds fantastic.
And I have another one. So again, another skill bridge role. And this is again with our partners at Customer.io. So I'm looking for people who are people who are great at relationships, who are good at connection, who are good at problem solving, who like to talk to people and connect and solve problems. So what I'm looking for is a business development intern. And we all know that people do business with people they like and know. And so that's why you need to be a great communicator, I think is certainly important. And basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be becoming a sales detective and a conversation starter. So I'm thinking of like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? And like the most social butterfly. So if any of those qualities sound like you, this could be for you. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be researching companies and that could be the right fit for Customer.io. Reach out through calls and emails, social media to set up conversations, engage if Customer.io could help that person's business. You're going to be using some professional tools again to make sure that you're tracking everything, to make sure your processes are streamlined, and come up with ideas on how they can expand their reach. The first thing, that I think will be really cool about this role is you get to learn some really transferable skills. Like you said, Mike, your role sets you up for a sales role. And that's
Yep.
exactly what you're going to be doing here. These are transferable skills that you can use for lifetimes, even beyond a professional career. You're going to be able to dive headfirst into making those relationships, taking those meetings, and you're going to be working with some cross-collaborative teams. So a lot of teamwork here, working with sales and marketing, so you can kind of understand the entire customer journey at customer.io. A couple other things they're looking for: people who are great communicators, like I said, people who can explain processes really clearly. And we all know that part of this role is going to be developing relationships, but also being able to persevere when you get a no, because that always happens, right? Not everyone is going to be a perfect fit. So someone who is up for a challenge, someone who is not persuaded by a no, and someone who is a great teammate. So if this is sounding like a role that you'd be interested in, you can absolutely go to our website and apply. Again, this is for the business development skill bridge with our friends at customer.io.
And I love it because I'm constantly having to remind senior military leaders and a lot of people getting out in general that if you want to be an executive in industry at some point, you've got to have sales P&L experience. You got to understand how the money is generated.
Yeah.
And so even today, I'm speaking on a panel at SOCI with and Lieutenant General retired Frank Helmick, one of the senior leaders in SOCI, a big defense corporation, said something along the lines of, you can have all the relationships in the world, but if you don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to drive business, it doesn't do anything. And
right.
So getting an internship where they're going to teach you and give you the tools and let you join a fantastic organization and grow as fast as you're able to grow. Remote is like mind-boggling how good of an opportunity this is for our community. And the fact of the matter is, people are going to see like business development and they're going to get scared. And I'm like, if you're scared, say you're scared. Just go do it. Like if you want remote, if you want like a tech-enabled company, if you want to learn how to sell, right? This is the opportunity to give it a free test drive. Like that's what I'm going to say. So that's fantastic. Did you have any other you wanted to share?
Just those two. We do have other roles for customer.io that we'll dive into at another time, but they're all on our website. I just want to make sure that we dive into them a little bit deeper because I think you're right. I think people get a little nervous about a sales or a marketing role if they don't have true marketing experience. But again, this is your opportunity to learn from some really awesome professionals who really want to embrace this community and hire SkillBridge interns.
Agreed. So I've got a couple roles then that I wanted to talk about. The first one is with Heritage Construction in Central Texas. What I love about these roles, these are account management or project management type roles. There's an element of sales and project management involved, but basically they do a lot of the insurance filing and reporting and repairs, remediation stuff for communities through Central Texas. So you have your nice truck, you have your uniform, you get your area, a weather event hits, and you just go out and you're basically like, they have damage. Like what happened, I share the story about our CEO's community got hit by like a freak, very small hailstorm. Like, they have damage. You knock on the door and you say, hey, look, I'm with Heritage Construction. I know that there was a weather event here. It's likely you have damage. You can go file all the stuff yourself and call the insurance company, or we, free to you completely. We'll check it out, give you the information. And if you want us to file it for you, if you want us to, make sure you get the best deal, and if you want us to repair it, we'll do it all for you. And for me, I think that our community is so perfectly suited for this because you're not necessarily the person like putting in a new roof, right? Managing the people that are putting in a new roof. You're communicating with customers. You're helping people that are going through hardship. And these are fantastic roles. Like the amount of money some of these guys were making when we talked to them was mind blowing. And it's not, like I said, you're not selling, like you're not a used car salesman. You're not selling encyclopedias. If anybody even knows what that is anymore, I don't want to say like you're not the Church of I don't, the ones that knock on your door and give you Bibles or whatever. Like, you're not proselytizing, and I don't want to put that down for anybody. Like, do your thing. But this is literally, we know that you need help. We can do it. We can make it easy for you, make your life easier, make your home better, and we'll take care of it all. And there's good compensation involved. And so if you're interested, you can check out Heritage Construction and check out those account management project manager roles on HireMilitary.us, and we'll connect you directly with their team. The other opportunities are the ones that I love to share about our friends at DLA Finance. And so DLA, Defense Logistics Agency, is the organization responsible for getting really the logistics support out to the tip of the sphere. And so they support the whole Department of Defense as one of the fourth estate agencies. And so DLA Finance handles the financial aspects of that. And so they've got some great roles. And I'll tell you, finance, there are a lot of financial management roles across the government that are very well compensated, great jobs. And so, and they have a very good translation in the industry as well. So if you are interested in going into the financial fields, they have roles in Battle Creek, Michigan, which is booming. They have them in Columbus, Ohio, I think it's near Wright-Patterson. They have New Cumberland, PA, and Philadelphia, PA, where the Philadelphia Eagles are going to beat the Dallas Cowboys on week 1, the very first game out there, Super Bowl champion Philadelphia. They've got them in Richmond, Virginia, Fort Belvoir, Virginia. And then they have a few spots down in San Antonio, Texas for people with accounts receivable experience. And so what they have is both SkillBridge and direct hire. Bear with me here. SkillBridge, great. You have any financial management, any like paying agent, contracting, supply, logistics, you put dollars together with cents. You can apply for these SkillBridge opportunities in any of the locations. The 5 roles are business analyst, which is fantastic, financial analyst, financial liaison, I think is a great role. And then if you have you have a bachelor's degree and at least 24 credits of accounting and business law combined, then you could apply for accountant or accountant systems roles. And these SkillBridge internships for transitioning U.S. military in the last 180 days of service. And the great thing about these is they're very, very flexible on time and duration. They're just not flexible on location because it's a federal government agency. So expect on site, right? If you're interested in any of those roles, check out the SkillBridge opportunities on HireMilitary.us and, tailor your resume to the best of your ability and apply for that. Now, for the direct hire roles, there are potential opportunities for them to hire people that are coming from other DoD agencies with that experience. But for the bulk of the direct hire roles, they do not have hiring authorities right now till the hiring freeze, the federal hiring freeze is lifted. But what we are doing for them is we are, capturing the resumes of qualified veterans, transitioning military and military spouses that will all be eligible for some form of direct hire or rapid hiring authority. We are racking and stacking them, and we are waiting for them to say go. And then once they're able to hire, we're going to send over the ones that all meet the requirements they're looking to fill. And they're going to rapidly move to get those people, interviewed, processed, and into the hiring as soon as they can. So this is a great opportunity to get ahead of the rush to hire that's going to be out there, right? And so if you are interested in DLA Finance, you can go to the SkillBridge opportunities, and you can go to the direct hire jobs opportunities on HireMilitary.us, and we'll take care of it for you. So I guess the only other thing I've got, Tara, is what's coming up in the next 3 sessions. So you're going to be ducking out. I guess you're taking a vacation or something over the next 2 weeks. I'm joking. But on Tuesday, we've got LJ Posey from Sony OTC coming, Sony Over the County Hearing Aids, coming over to talk about her experience working there. And she's a Marine, so it'll be exciting to talk to her. She's great. It'll be a really fun session to hear what it's like working for Sony and bringing these new hearing aids to market. On Thursday, tomorrow, I have Master Sergeant, soon to be retired, Brad Thieroff. Brad did a SkillBridge internship at DLA Finance up at Battle Creek, Michigan. So he's going to share his experience going and working for DLA Finance, learning all the things and getting access to the larger DIA enterprise. And while DLA Finance does not have the ability to hire right now, he's interviewing for jobs at DLA Disposition this week, which they have defense industrial based positions that are eligible for hire. So I'm excited that we were able to facilitate a lot of that. And then next Thursday, we've got the one and only Jay Sperry. Jay Sperry went from intern to COO. So Marine E7, Marine Recruiting E7, applied for a COO internship at Veteran Service Brands. I will tell you that there were E9s at the 4-star level that applied. There were 06s that had been 30 years in service and led thousands of people that applied. And Jay Sperry got selected over them by Jack Child. And it's such a cool story. I've spoke to Jack and Jay. The thing about Jay is he saw this as his dream job. And not only did he do all the research and talk to a bunch of the business owners, the franchise partners, he actually went out to the job site and spent a day working with one of them. And so when the interview came, he already had spoken with so many of the franchise partners. He knew Veteran Service Brands. He knew G-Force.
Yeah.
And so I remember Jack Child saying they interviewed one or two people after Jay, and we had a bunch of people lined up. A lot of people wanted this fantastic job. And I think after the first or second person after Jay, he said, "Why are we still hiring? Why are we still interviewing?
Yeah.
There's nobody's going to be better than Jay." And
that's cool. It'd be a good conversation.
Yeah. His first or second week on the job was our first time going down to Clearwater. They had their big annual event, and he was running around as I would expect, a very senior experienced non-commissioned officer, making sure everything ran smoothly. And I remember talking to the CEO, and he was like, "I've never had anything run this smoothly. They don't even need me." And he was so thankful. So Jay is still there. He's still killing it. And he will be here next Thursday for a very open and candid conversation.
Cool. So some really good events coming up. So make sure everyone marks your calendar. Stay tuned.
For sure. And I think if you are not sure what you want to do, you're just getting started, maybe you're a little bit out of your skill bridge. Maybe you're at the 9-month or 12-month or 15-month mark, but you're still interested in SkillBridge. What should they do?
Great question. 1, you should be following us on LinkedIn. You should be following HireMilitary and Mike and I. 2, you should go to our website listed right above us and sign up for a jobs pool or a SkillBridge pool. That's how you get the most up-to-date communications as far as what our openings are for full-time roles and for SkillBridge roles. I think that's the best place to start. The other thing I would mention is there's also a lot of resources on our website. If you're really struggling to write a resume or you're not really sure, you need some guidance, you should check out our website under the resources tab. We have a lot of articles, for tips and tricks on that.
Yeah, no, that's it. The resource is a great point. There are articles with links, lists of nonprofits, how to do your resume, how to prepare for an interview, how to do informational interviews. Basically, everything that we've been talking about for years is written there in easy to find articles. So
yes,
definitely check that out. And I guess I will see most of you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Yeah. So have a great day, everyone.
Bye, guys.